Newcomer. Darren.
He connected really well because he knew what he was talking about. He had either watched the games or watched highlights of the games so that he could talk about specific moments in those games, and that really connected with this person that had been to the games before.
Good point. And what else did Teddy do?
Teddy got excited about it.
Yes. And Teddy also made sure
to give them time to talk.
Yeah, let the person communicate their feelings about it. All right. Regular. Session 7. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, he also, on top of all that, he would kind of chuckle. He was himself. Oh, no way! And talking about the PKs, and he was obviously very excited. And I don't know, he made the other person feel very comfortable.
That's exactly the point I was looking for. And I think it's important it's important to re-emphasize with some of the people that have been here longer, who when you get into that corporate mindset, when you're making corporate calls, you think very robotically, and you still have to be yourself. So you're trying to make sure you don't mess up when you're doing the corporate calls. I got the script I need to get down, and we still forget to be ourselves. And for the people that are just starting, the ones that are going to be getting on the phones next week, you see how important it is to get someone laughing and being yourself. And the easiest way to connect with someone is to not sound like a salesperson. And the easiest way to sound like a salesperson is if you're reading off of something, or you sound very robotic, or you sound like, and you're just not being you. You, as a person, are going to mess up. The ones that are going to be the best are the ones that are also going to be able to laugh at yourself while you do it. I have to do it all the time in sales conversations when I get talking too fast, and I'll say something either completely ridiculous or something completely nonsensical. Like, wow, that did not come out the way I wanted it to come out. And I say it all the time, but you have to have that ability to laugh at yourself. You have to have the ability to be yourself, and you have to have that ability to come across as yourself when you're on the phones. So that's clearly what Teddy was able to do in a very short period of time up front on the phone call, and it makes it that much easier for you as you break into the second part of the phone call. A lot of times we do spend a very, very short time on building rapport up front. And I think this is a good example of if you take a couple of seconds up front to really try to make a connection with the person that you're talking to, and listening to all the calls that I did. The person who I always thought did a really good job about this was Ryan. Ryan did a really, really good job of getting the people, Hurtado, who you all met, did a really good job of getting people to communicate with him before he transitioned to his agenda statement. So when it was time to talk business, Ryan had a connection with them that was a little bit different and a little bit more unique to that conversation and much more personal. So I thought he was someone who did this, built rapport up front very, very well. Don't be afraid sometimes to ask a question or two before you jump into your agenda statement. I know we get so excited, like, oh, now it's time to go in the agenda statement, now it's time to go in the agenda statement, now it's time to go in the agenda statement. Don't be afraid to make that personal connection before, because the minute you hit your agenda statement, there are going to be like, all right, this person's going to be selling me because we're going to tell you that we're going to be trying to sell. All right, next clip is going to be Kenneth Soul. Kenneth Soul is currently an account executive for the New England Revolution, doing a fantastic job working for the New England Revolution. He is a good old Southern boy from the Dallas, Texas area, who's now up in New England, which I'm sure they absolutely are eating that up there. And so we're going to talk a little bit now with Kenneth and see how Kenneth set the agenda.